Hello, I'm Cliff Little with OSU Extension, Ohio Forage Team Co-Leader. I work in Guernsey and Noble counties, and today we're going to be covering Ohio's new pasture invader, spotted knapweed. Here I'm going to be showing you some photos taken throughout southeastern Ohio, and pictured here is a field covered with spotted knapweed, a hay field. And we're going to be talking about this field and what we did and what we're seeing in eastern Ohio. Spotted knapweed has expanded its range rapidly throughout eastern and southeastern Ohio in particular. Heavy infestations of this weed can be found throughout the area. The plant seed is very easily distributed. Equipment, mowing, hay, even livestock can transfer this seed throughout your hay fields and pasture fields. If you drive the roads in July, August, September, you will see this distinctive pink bloom. It looks like a red clover bloom, and you're probably mistaking it for that. It's about the size of that bloom as well, $1/4 to $1/2 in size, and this is a prolific seeding plant. We can find heavy populations of it in Noble, Guernsey, Belmont, Monroe, Morgan, and Muskingum counties right now. The field I showed you at the beginning of this presentation is pictured here on your left. On the right is the same field after we have applied a chemical to it to control spotted knapweed. And this was taken a year later, and I've photographed this field as long as 2 years after the application. So we did a good job here in this hay field in controlling spotted knapweed. From here on, though, we will continue to get pressure in this field, and we'll have to spot spray to keep it out. This plant doesn't have much for leaves. It's a stemmy plant. In the spring, it is hard to distinguish from other plants because it comes up in a rosette and then bolts in later summer, becoming very stemmy. The flower is very distinctive, though, if you stop and take a look at it. The lower plant leaves are elongated and have somewhat irregular edges. By fall, you don't notice the plant as much because it's not blooming. This is taken in October of spotted knapweed, and you can see here the brown, that is the seed head that has formed, and we have mature seeds now ready to fall and germinate the next year. Why is this plant such a problem? One plant could produce up to 1,000 seeds. It has been a big problem in the western United States, and farmers and ranchers in that area of the country have spent a lot of money in trying to control this plant. So I think one of the keys for us is to get on it before it covers the entire field like we saw in the previous photo. There are a lot of broadleaf herbicides options that we can discuss with you. Here are one of the chemicals that we used on the picture I showed you earlier. We used Forefront at 2.5 pint per acre. It provided effective control. So depending on your use for the forage, whether you're grazing, haying, selling the forage, you select the herbicide that might be appropriate for your use of that forage, and that was a grass hay field. Spotted knapweed took over that entire field and began to kill off all clovers, grasses in that field. And it can do that by a chemical that's put off in the root system of this plant. So eventually you can end up with an entire field composed of spotted knapweed. The best control program is to early detect it, eradicate it just with spot spray. It's very inexpensive to do it that way. If you wait until an entire field is covered, you lose forage production, you lose grazing, and now you've got a bigger cost in terms of herbicide application. Make sure when you're planting you only use certified seed. It's been checked for weed seed. Manage your hay fields and your pastures to promote dense stands. This will help crowd out and keep this weed out of your fields. For identification and weed control options, be sure and contact your local OSU Extension office. Thank you.